ESPN. A capacity crowd on hand tonight here at Bill Snyder Family Stadium, where the Army Black Knights come calling out of the American to tangle with the Kansas State Wildcats. Their first meeting since way back in 1987. I'm so glad you could join us. Excitement at an all-time high as week 2 continues. Louis Riddick, Roy Philpott in our broadcast location. Chris Button joins us on the sidelines in just one moment. Well, if you like close games, you found the right one tonight because these two teams, they've played 3 total contests so far, all 3 decided by a field goal.
They sure have. And look, both coaches, I think it would be safe to say, are not happy with how their teams have played to this point. I think they play very different styles of football. You're going to see with Kansas State, you're going to see a team that's going to be very quarterback-centric. For Army, you're going to see a team that's going to run the triple option, the old-fashioned wishbone. It will be fun to break this down tonight.
K-State Wildcats preseason top 25, an early week 0 loss to Iowa State. And now Avery Johnson, fresh off the comeback over North Dakota last week. Boy, he has been silky smooth to start this season.
He sure is, Roy. He's one of the most dynamic athletes in all of college football, standing about 6'3", 195 pounds. He reminds me a little bit of Jaden Daniels, dare I say. He's having one of the best seasons or the fastest start to his career so far, completing just under 70% of his passes, has thrown 5 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. They need a big game out of him tonight, running the football as well as throwing it.
Love the comp to the former Heisman Trophy winner. Meanwhile, the Black Knights in search of a win, fresh off an upset a week ago. But in case you missed the big story, it was the story off the field in college football just this past Saturday. We'll tell you more about it coming up.
Today, as he is at every football game, it made national news. And when we talked to Larry Jr. about the attention he received, he said, I don't really think anything of it other than I'm glad that it paid a spotlight on those that choose to play at West Point and the tradition and the value those men have.
An incredible story, Chris. He told us I was just helping someone in need, and he is on the field to start tonight. The Black Knights and their kickoff team. Great environment, outstanding weather here at the Sunflower State. Ready to go. Army won the opening toss and deferred. K-State set to receive. Anderson Britton underway in Manhattan. Special teams have been an issue at times to start this year for K-State, but not now. Outstanding return, Norenberg. Shoved out of bounds in plus territory. And the Cats are in business to start. And our first look at Avery Johnson coming off his first career game over 300 yards passing, Lewis.
Yeah, he's a guy who really has started off this season looking very comfortable throwing the football. Now, K-State has been known for running the football under Chris Klieman. They want to run the football. Expect Avery to run it a little more tonight. But as offensive coordinator Matt Wells said, look, he said this, we're just trying to win football games. I'm not trying to use him any particular way, but expect him to be a threat with the ball in his hands out on the perimeter.
Bryce Norenberg with a fumble on a return attempt last week. He returns the opening kick, 44 yards this weekend. Early touch for Joe Jackson, the hero on the game-winning touchdown grab over North Dakota. Caleb Fortner holds through the line, a loss of 1.
There's 2 inside linebackers for Army. Number 53, Caleb Fortner. Number 51, Andon Thomas. Those are the guys you will hear their names being called tonight. Early and often, they make a ton of plays. 2 captains, 2 leaders on this football team.
Empty backfield is now Jackson motion. Playing Johnson to the right. Same play we saw in the game winner, but this one's dropped. And it's 3rd down and long just like that. Jaden Mays in coverage. And that's one number 4 in purple should have caught.
So these are the kind of execution things that Chris Klieman has just not been happy about with his football team. That should be an easy throw and catch. You should be now looking at maybe 3rd and manageable. at least third and a little bit better than what it is. Now you got a third and long situation for Army. You can get off the field here. This is exactly the kind of start you wanted.
Both coaching staffs not exactly in the best mood when we met with them yesterday here in Manhattan. Expectations high for both sides. On third down, crossing pattern is there, as well as the first down. Ron Bradley able to pick up the first in a gain of 15. They call him J.B. Bradley.
It's a nice throwing catch against the soft zone coverage that Army likes to run. They like to keep everything in front. They'll occasionally zone blitz, maybe run some simulated pressures to make the quarterback think they're coming, but they don't take many chances. They'll give you some of those throws underneath.
Matt Wells, the new offensive coordinator this season for K-State. Handoff and a crease and a big gain on the ground the first time for Joe Jackson, and another first down.
That's exactly what they want to get. Just pull the center Sam Hecht, get out on the perimeter, get a body on a body, and then just tell Joe Jackson, just get it north and south. Get people running laterally, and then you run vertically. Joe Jackson's someone that needs to get going. They need to get this running game going. They expect more out of him.
And now the first time we've seen Devon Rice. A scat back at 5'9", an early touch right off the bench and stacked up, driven down quickly. Right at the line of scrimmage, it'll be second and long. Lewis, I don't know that I've met with two coaching staffs that were, dare we say, grumpier than the two that we met with this week. I mean, Jeff Monken, Chris Kleiman, years 12 and 7 respectively. They just don't like how their teams have started.
Yeah, they sure don't. Look, I think Chris Kleiman knows that his football team needs to run the football. They've been trying to get that going here tonight. We haven't seen Avery run it yet. They've thrown it well. And for Army, they just want to be able to play solid fundamental football.
Play action, Johnson slings it, and a pass corralled right near the line to gain, stopped about a yard shy. It was Duron Tibbs. Purdue transfer, tackled by Mays.
See, this is why K-State's offense has looked good so far when they haven't had the self-inflicted penalties. Avery Johnson, when he's on time in rhythm, is using excellent fundamentals. You see right there the nice basic curl route to Duron Tibbs, the transfer from Purdue. That looks textbook. That's what he's been showing so far this year. That's why they're pretty excited about Avery Johnson's developmental curve.
Deep handoff, Jackson, and stopped short of the line to gain. He's going to lose a yard. Caleb Fortner again. So fourth and short decision time for Chris Kleiman.
These two inside linebackers for Army, just fantastic football players. Very instinctive, very motivated. When we met with them yesterday, to be honest with you, I'm a little shocked that Coach Kleiman didn't go for this.
Luis Rodriguez, connected from 30 yards out a week ago. Went over North Dakota. It was of the comeback variety. This attempt inside the right hash from 34, and Rodriguez continues a solid start. K-State place kicker. 3-0 our new score, just underway in the Little Apple. And you see that left ankle and lower leg area was heavily taped. He is currently on the Black Knights bench, and Wayne Coleman taking over for Captain America. An incredible year that Bryson Daly had last season. The start he wanted a week ago, and the injury forces him out of the starting lineup tonight, Lewis, and we will introduce America to Cale Helms, the junior from Tomball, Texas.
Yeah, he got a little bit of time last week, and he really showed pretty well. Look, he had scored his first career touchdown. He's only played 4 games in his career, only attempted 4 passes. But I can tell you this young man threw for 8,000 yards in high school, 83 touchdowns. So he's more than capable. But I'll tell you, he is built for like a guy who was built to run this kind of triple option offense. And I think you will see them not hold back whatsoever. They trust him fully at the command.
First career start for the junior from the Lone Star State. Under center, running that vaunted triple option attack. And over the right side, he rumbles for a gain of about 3. The tackle. Make it 2nd down and 7. We asked Jeff Monken about Cale, and I said, Coach, he kind of reminds me of Bryson Daly with the physical stature and even his demeanor. And he agreed, and that is certainly high praise. Short in motion. They want to get him plenty of touches right through the A gap and bolting towards the 30. Gain of 2. VJ Payne, Gabe Powers combine on the stop.
Yeah, that's what you've got to do against this offense. You've got to make sure that you take care of the interior run game first. You cannot allow this offense to get going north and south. You see K-State playing very well at the point of attack so far. Must have been on first down, force him into 3rd and longs. This is where Army doesn't want to live.
This play from a phone booth. Tight formation, late pitch, needs to cross the 35, and there it is. Noah Short, with a humble emerging star for the Black Knights, found a way in a slight crease.
And you see Noah Short just, as the pitch man, you see they option off of Chidi Obiizor, and they make a perfect decision. They have hat on a hat out on the perimeter as far as the blocks are concerned. And Noah Short, what a fantastic interview he was when we met with him yesterday. One of the most unassuming young men you'll meet, but he plays the game with a tremendous amount of heart. He'll carry the ball a lot tonight.
He had some other outstanding scholarship offers. Movement. And the tight end, Pulowski.
False start. Offense. Number 44. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
That's Parker Pulowski, a junior, Boca Raton, Florida, and Jeff Muck in year 12. He does not like seeing self-inflicted wounds with his team.
Not at all. I'll tell you, how fun was that interview with him yesterday? You want to talk about a guy who just gets aggravated as you can possibly be when teams are not disciplined. And here in 1st and long like this is not where they want to be.
Run the option again the other way, and Helens is going to be bottled up. Austin Romaine. And a loss of 3, a big stop for K-State. 2nd and long.
Austin Romaine, the leading tackler. Just watch him diagnose this and then get upfield. This is how you have to play it. You have to come downhill, take good angles. Somebody has to be responsible for the dive. Somebody has to be responsible for the quarterback. Somebody responsible for the pitch. This is assignment defense that has to be executed at the highest level tonight to slow down this kind of option attack.
2nd down and 18, not where the Army offense wants to live tonight. Helms twisting and turning back across the 30. A 4-yard gain. Romaine again the tackle.
See the linebackers, the 3 linebackers they have on the field. Number 35, Gabe Powers. Desmond Purnell, 32. Austin Romaine, 45. They're all playing with nice pad level, staying square to the line of scrimmage, not overreacting, keeping their eyes in good places. So far, so good as far as their defense of this option.
Knights have yet to attempt to pass. Helms wants to do it here. Now escapes the pocket. Straight ahead. Well short of the line to gain. Stop at the 38-yard line. So a 6-yard pickup on 3rd and long. It'll be 4th down for the Black Knights.
If you're defensive coordinator Joe Klanderman for Kansas State, you're happy with the way your defense looks right now as far as what they call eye control. You'll hear us talk about it all night long. As far as defenders, making sure they're reading the proper keys, because it's essential against this kind of offense, and then making sure you tackle in space. That's a nice start for Kansas State.
The false start penalty, and then the TFL really sacked that drive for Army. And the punt, wagon seller. Karam's out of bounds. It's Sterling Lockett right there, ready and waiting. K-State gets it back, a 3-0 lead, halfway home in the 1st.
Download the Experian app now.
3-0 our score back in Manhattan. Lewis Riddick, your keys to victory tonight.
Yeah, for Army, it's about winning the time of possession, which means converting first downs and staying on the football field. Defensively, they've got to get K-State to go ahead and turn this over 2 or more times by any means necessary. For Kansas State, Avery Johnson hasn't carried the ball yet, but I think he's going to need 80 plus, maybe close to 100 yards rushing. They're going to need to get him going and make sure that this offense stays balanced. And then for their defense, allow 3 yards or less on first down. They're off to a good start, but there's a long way to go. Army has a lot of wrinkles embedded into their offense.
First down after the 46-yard punt. J.B. Price on the field. Not a carry so far this season, a redshirt freshman. That'll continue. The crosser is there. J.B. Bradley, as we send you back to the studio, and Matt Berry. First time those two teams have tangled since 2011. And after a first down game by Bradley, Braden Lofton able to escape and get to the 40-yard line. Kansas State might as well be known as tight end U. They've got about 5 different players that they can utilize in that position.
They sure do. And offensive coordinator Matt Wells told us he tries to mix and match them so people can't get a beat on any tendencies as far as run or pass. And they will rotate all 4 of them through there. And you can see so far Avery Johnson is looking real comfortable with his ball handling in the pass game.
Johnson extremely comfortable with Matt Wells. Wells joined this staff a year ago and promoted, elevated as the new OC. Casey Larkin stops J.B. Price. That's another first down. And for Matt Wells, we spoke with him yesterday, Lewis, and we asked him specifically about his starting quarterback. He got emotional, and it didn't take long for him to reach that point. The two are very tight and connected this season. Handoff, it goes to Jackson. Dives ahead to the 45.
Yeah, Matt Wells talked about the fact that the reason why he came here was because of Avery Johnson. People want to coach young men like this, who are humble, who are eager to learn, who want to be coached hard. He said, look, he's the kind of guy, he really emphasized the fact that he wanted to coach him hard on body language. He wants him to be aware of the fact that everyone on this football team watches every single thing that he does, and he's really grown into being the head of the snake, so to speak, as far as this football team and this football operation is concerned.
Avery sounds different this season, too. When you talk to him, there's more maturity. There's a calmness that's there. Shovel pass was deflected just across the line of scrimmage. DeShantez Gray got a fingertip on it. Third down.
There's no question that sometimes Avery Johnson, like he'll say it himself, he'll maybe take some chances that doesn't really need to. You got to be secure with the football because you carry the fortunes of the entire program in your hands as the quarterback every snap. Just last week he got away with maybe 4 times where he could have thrown interceptions that may have changed the game. He's got to clean that up. But he is a heck of a talent.
Down in 7 to the incompletion. Johnson with plenty of time, surveys. Jackson stops short of the first down. It'll be 4th and 2. Casey Larkin, a formed tackle after a gain of 5.
Casey Larkin, the strong safety for Army, plays the game the way you want it played. And you can see he is a fiery, emotional individual who plays 1,000 miles an hour. There's no breaking down with this young man. If there's contact to be made, number 20 is going to find it. You saw it right there.
Benson back deep to receive this punt from Simon Planet. This Army team with a lot to prove tonight after what happened last weekend at West Point against Tarleton State. An upset 3-point loss, a couple of late missed field goals. Jeff Monken not in a great mood as a result. Something to prove tonight, and the Black Knights get it back after this. Taco Bell Live Más Student Section. Only one student section can claim the title of Live Más Student Section of the Year. Who will take home the trophy this year? 3-0 our score. K-State leading Army. First meeting between these two programs since 1987. Third meeting overall. K-State has never defeated the Black Knights. Aiden Reed in the backfield with Cale Helms making the first start of his career at Army West Point this evening. Late toss, and it goes back to short.
Sometimes, guys, you can't take the coordinator out of the head coach. That's the case for Chris Klieman, who before this drive was out there with the secondary and linebackers, drawing up plays, making sure that everyone knew their assignment on each role. And you could sense that, Lewis, at our meeting with him. He had spent some extra time in the defensive meeting rooms this week.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? Head coaches love when they can actually coach. And Coach Klieman, this week, he was doing some coaching. Heck, he even grabbed my pen and my notebook, showed me a few things that they're going to try and do. I felt like I was back in the classroom again. He is a fun guy to talk to.
You got excited, I got excited. K-State offsides there, and the quick toss to Samari Howard. There's movement along the right side of that K-State defensive front. Travis Bates may have jumped early.
Tell you the one thing that doesn't make any of these coaches happy, and we've talked about it already, and both of them are very aggravated over the self-inflicted wounds. They feel like their football teams could be much further down the road as far as their execution if they can just eliminate things like this. When you're talking about Travis Bates, anybody who watches football knows the defensive lineman, you're supposed to key the ball, not listen to the quarterback.
Defense number 39. That penalty is declined. Third down.
Because when you listen to the quarterback, they get you to do just that. You're not, that's simply because you're not looking at the ball. It's those kind of errors in terms of your concentration that can tell you this for sure. That guy on your screen right there, Coach Monken, he's not having any of it.
Penalty decline. Third down and about an inch and a half to go. Both teams within the box, and Army straight ahead. The drive begins now for the Black Knights. Already a quick pace first quarter, and for Jeff Monken, that's exactly how he wants it. Army wants to play the time of possession game, chew up the clock, and have a chance on the road late.
First down, here's the key down. It's a key down for any offense, but in particular for this one. They said that their goal is to get 5 or more on first down. They want to live in that 2nd and 5, 2nd and 4 type of range. See what K-State can do in order to prevent that.
Howard went in motion. Helms is going to keep it. He makes the right read, and rumbling across the 35. BJ Payne, the tackle.
You can just see the key block. You see the tackle, Teddy Williams, just get up on Austin Romaine and cuts him off, and you see he isn't able to get in pursuit. BJ Payne comes flying downhill in support. But this offensive line, Joe Moore Award-winning offensive line last year, is the best offensive line in college football. Lost a bunch of starters. But that's no excuse as far as Jeff Monken is concerned. He expects them to play better. Playing pretty well so far here.
For a gain of 5, Howard. It'll be third down and short. The offensive line for the Black Knights. Take a look. They're not huge, but they are effective running the option.
Absolutely. Two best players right here, center and right guard, Brady Small and Paolo Gennarelli. They are the guys that they will run this football behind when they need it the most. And that's who they will go to. They really like their left guard, number 59, Will Jeffcoat. Feel as though he is going to be a good football player. It's the heart and soul of this football team.
Third and 2. Helms surveys, and now around the right side, he's got the first down. It was close, but he found a way. And Helms, you mentioned it, watching him for the first time on film last week. He was up for the moment. There was no hesitation. He scored the first touchdown of his career when Coleman was injured in the first half.
Absolutely. And look, offensive coordinator Cody Worley said, I have full trust in him. He has demonstrated through practices, both in the spring and in the preseason, that he's up for the task. And as soon as they put him in the game last week, they let him run the football. And you can see here, he's built for it. Real thick in his lower body. He's up for the challenge.
Quarterback follow. That's 2 on 3rd and 2. Pitch to short. Had some real estate for a moment. The burst to the 45 and drop there. A gain of 4. Noah Short told us too. You asked about the goal for this offense on first down. Without hesitation, we want 5 yards. That's the goal.
It sure is. They want to get in 2nd and manageable because obviously their bread and butter is running the football. Now, that being said, Cale Helms, he was a fantastic high school quarterback. Like I said, threw for over 8,000 yards, 83 touchdowns in high school. So if they need to throw it, he's more than capable. But that guy on your screen who you have just seen, Noah Short, 15, he's the do-it-all, everything slot back for them. They're going to get the ball to him in any way possible.
Helms comes from a basketball family. On the keeper, a gain of maybe a yard. Logan Bartley chopped him down quickly. It should be the final play of our first quarter. Army on the move, trailing 3-0. "15 minutes in, the start of our second quarter coming up. 3rd and 5 for the Black Knights after this.
Just your second series right now. What do you need to see here to continue to move the chains?
Oh, we just got to keep moving that ball and get ourselves in a manageable 3rd or 4th down position. That's our offense. So we didn't do that in the first drive. We got ourselves behind the sticks, but we're doing a little better right now. So I hope it'll last.
Thank you.
Thanks.
There was a wry grin on the face of Jeff Monk, and a good start for his team on the road, trailing 3-0. Louis Riddick, Roy Philpott, Chris Budden. 3rd down and 5 near midfield. The Black Knights will go for it if they gain a couple here. Went for it 40 different occasions last year on 4th down. Right up the middle is Carson Smith. The first touch of the season for number 34. A gain of 2.
4th and short for this football team might as well be 4th and long for some teams. They are going for it every single time. They went for it at a super high rate last season, as you see here. 4th down offense, 40 attempts last year. 4th in all of FBS, and they were successful at 78%. They just present you with such a headache in all the different ways that they can attack your defensive front.
Shotgun look, play action. Helms wants to go long, and it's incomplete. He did have Smith open. The pass was behind his intended receiver out of the backfield.
And you see Carson Smith, number 34, the running back, just released out of the backfield, and no one picks him up and carries him in this zone coverage defense. As you saw the safety, B.J. Payne, got caught with his eyes in the backfield, was trying to recover and get some depth. Cale Helms just misses it. That's got to be incompletion if you're Army, and he knows it. He had him wide open. Carson Smith may still be running, hitting his head on the goalpost with 6, had he just put that on him.
K-State gets it back in plus territory. The Army unable to convert on 4th down. The field, Devon Rice. The scat back with the move. Crossing the 35. A gain of 13 on 1st down.
It's just a real good job getting some double teams at the point of attack. Pulling the guard in the tight end. And kind of a counter tray option, what they call a gap scheme. And Devon Rice, he has really shown up for this football team. They expect more out of him. They really are missing Dylan Edwards, their do-it-all running back, who's been hurt since week 1 of their season against Iowa State. And Devon Rice is filled in kind of nicely, and there you see why.
Jackson and Price. And Johnson in the backfield, play action, wants to go long. He's got a man breaking open across the goal line. Jerron Bradley. Right over the top of Jaden Mays, and the first touchdown of this football game. It goes to K-State from 35 yards out.
You see Jerron Bradley, all 6'5" of them, just using that long wingspan to take that ball out of the air as he maintained control going to the ground as he has Jaden Mays on his back. Oh, you see the ball coming out there at the end.
Previous play of a touchdown is under further review.
We had a similar situation last week, Roy, in Atlanta with Nick Harbor from South Carolina. Ball didn't survive the ground when he went down. Then you see the knee hit the ground. Does he complete the catch? See, this is one of these situations that I really do struggle with as far as this being called a catch or not a catch by the letter of the law. My intuition is that they're going to overturn this.
Now, there were big moments throughout college football. LSU Clemson comes to mind a week ago, completing the act of the catch itself, and Bradley caught it cleanly to begin with. Did he finish the reception the way that he needed to in the end zone? And it's tough to see the ball until it comes out late.
I think from the other angle, It looked like it was coming out, but that's a heck of an individual effort. Great play call. Got the safeties up at the line of scrimmage and had him one-on-one against the corner. I have a feeling this is going to get overturned based on what I've seen before.
Let's bring in our rules analyst, Jerry McGinn. Jerry, what are you seeing?
I'm seeing that the receiver does complete the process of the catch, and then he goes to the ground and loses it. So the catch process is over before he hits the ground. I like it as a touchdown.
I'm going to have to go to referee school this offseason.
Can I go with you?
For this situation in particular. Because this is the one that I think there's just so much debate about what is a catch and what isn't. I mean, last week in the South Carolina game against Virginia Tech down in Atlanta, I would have swore that Nick Harbor completed that catch, and that would have been a touchdown for them, and they overturned that one. It'll be interesting to see how they rule on this.
Yeah. So it comes down to it. Is the receiver going to the ground to make the catch, or is the catch process over prior to the receiver hitting the ground? And I believe the process is over.
Gotcha.
This is an extended review. Our replay official, Gerald Austin, a Big 12 officiating crew tonight in Manhattan. A heck of an effort by J.B. Bradley. And for Chris Klieman and Jeff Monken, an enormous sequence here and what was a 3-point game. Our referee tonight, David Alvarez. Was a 1st and 10 play. Way back at the 35.
Oh, here comes the call.
After further review, the ruling on the field has been changed to an incomplete pass. It will be 2nd down from the previous spot.
A common sense approach has to occur at some point.
No question. Look, my instinct says that that's a catch. But just based on precedent and what has happened already in this, in the early portion of this college football season, those kind of plays have been being overturned. Just saw it last week, and now here we see it again.
K-State try to respond on what could have been a 35-yard touchdown pass by Avery Johnson. J.B. Bradley, now it's 2nd and 10. The running back and a fan imploring K-State to try it one more time. Hit the X button, why not? Rice, a stutter step. A nifty move across the 30. 5-yard pickup. It'll be 3rd down.
I really do like some of the juice that Devon Rice brings to this football team. By no means am I saying he is Dylan Edwards, and this coaching staff will tell you quickly that he's not. But he's really brought them some electric playmaking ability. Now here, this is a key 3rd and 5 situation. We haven't heard from Jace Brown yet. Their leading wide receiver. I don't think he's on the field for this snap.
Jace Brown, the best friend of Avery Johnson. Those two have certainly maintained their relationship. And now Johnson, first time we've seen his number called. A late penalty marker comes in. He is close to the 25, and let's check the infraction.
You're going to get a holding on Jamiri Davis right there at the point of attack. Pulling the defender to the ground.
And this has been the consistent theme for K-State through now the first 2.5 games this year. Self-inflicted wounds.
During the run, holding, offense, number 14, 10-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
You're going to see the wide receiver. He's going to come into your screen off to the right here late in the down. You will see him right at the point of attack. He just pulls the defensive back to the ground as Avery is trying to navigate getting out on the perimeter. You see him right there. Pulls him to the ground. Easy for the referees to make that call.
It would have been 4th and inches. Instead now 3rd and 10.
And that is costly in terms of field position now. Just backing them up, putting them in these kind of situations that offensive coordinators hate.
2.5 minutes into our 2nd quarter. A 3-0 ball game. Johnson fires low. The pass corralled by Jace Brown. First time he's been targeted. It'll be 4th down. Well, Brown a career high 12 receptions last week, and what do you do here?
It's interesting, by the play call, you were figuring, look, are they just going to try to get some field position and attempt a field goal? But here, they were just trying to pick up some yardage, get some positive yardage to get into 4th and manageable. And they consider this manageable. This is where Avery Johnson, look, this is where he's got to go to work. His dual threat capabilities have to come into play.
Low snap. Johnson with time, firing for the end zone, has a man. And the pad is caught in the back corner. Jerron Tibbs. On 4th and 7. Avery Johnson with some magic.
This is a big time throw. Gets one-on-one coverage, 0 coverage. They sent the house. Defensive back got there early. Jerron Tibbs is still able to make the catch. That is a fantastic throw and even better concentration on the part of Jerron Tibbs.
And how about Johnson, Lewis, in the pocket with the poise that K-State had to have. His hot start this season through the air continues for the Wildcats.
You cannot do it any better than what Avery Johnson just did it as far as throwing that ball against 0 coverage. They pick it up perfectly. You see the running back Joe Jackson pick up the blitzing linebacker, and he just drops a dime. And there you see Avery Johnson celebrating what is a big-time throw. This guy has a very bright future at the quarterback position. You keep making throws like that, they're going to be talking about you in a very, very complimentary way.
Black Knights get it back. Helms in his first career start. The late pitch on the option. No, it's short. Plenty of real estate and a first down crossing the 40-yard line. Give him 17.
And this is what you can't do. If you're Logan Bartley out here, number 10, the safety, and you're responsible for the pitch, you see number 10's eyes, you see him on the quarterback. No one is out here for the pitch. That is an easy read for Cale Helms. And you see it there. You can see Bartley. He's got his eyes on the quarterback. And you just wonder in this defense whether or not he was responsible for the pitch, because you cannot let Noah Short have that kind of space out on the perimeter.
You played Oklahoma during your time at Pitt. Oh, what is it like to be on that island having to defend a play like that?
In a word, awful. It's awful, especially if you don't know what your assignment is and your guys aren't taking care of their assignments.
Offense, number 27, 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
What happens is you start trying to make up for the next guy, and all it does, it's just a domino effect. This is about assignment defense more than at any other time as far as trying to defend this kind of offense, because if you get caught out of a gap, you don't know who your responsibility is. That's what the option offense is designed for, to take advantage of your mistakes and make you pay.
I could feel your pain reflecting on that moment.
I can feel it up here. No question.
Second false start penalty on 1st and 10 for Army in this first half. That last one against Howard. 2-yard gain makes it 2nd and long here. Early touches for Hayden Reed, number 8. Leading rusher coming in. In terms of the backs.
I'll tell you, Hayden Reed, he's a nice running back at 6'2", 220. He played the slot position that Noah Short played a year ago. But they really like his ability to run the ball between the tackles, and he's going to have to play a big role.
They want Short to be a focal point of the offense. They'll fake the jet sweep action. And Helms, near side run. Austin Romaine ready and waiting. No gain.
Now watch Austin Romaine and watch how he is keying the pullers, and look how fast he gets off the spot. He sees Generelli go, he says, I'm going. And he is downhill. This is why this young man is leading this team in tackles, why he's one of the best off-ball linebackers in college football. He plays the game with his mind, and then that way he can play faster with his feet. Now they got him in 3rd and long.
First time he's faced triple option offense in In his football career on 3rd and long, Helms just tries to get rid of it out of bounds. Heavy pressure from Gabe Powers.
Get him in 3rd and long. That's when, as a defensive coordinator, you can absolutely tee off. And you see Gabe Powers running free and just forcing Cale Helms out of the pocket. That is just not what Army wants to do. That is not the situations they want to be in. And there you see coordinator Joe Klanderman talking to Chris Klieman, just constantly in communication about how to defend this offense. You gotta love when head coaches get a chance to really coach.
They absolutely love it. Klanderman and Klieman going back to their days at North Dakota State. Lockett calls for the fair catch. K-State gets it back, leading by 10 after this.
Set up because they do this for Riley Day every year here at Kansas State, and Army usually has some sort of fans in the crowd wherever they go, but the fact that this was the day they chose to do for Riley Day so that soldiers could come over from just 25 miles away to be able to cheer on their Army brotherhood, and there was an amazing flyover to start the game as well.
Amazing indeed. It caught our attention here at our broadcast position, so close in fact you could almost reach out and touch the Blackhawk helicopters that came by. And a first down carry for J.B. Price, and a tackle once again by Casey Larkin. It'll be 2nd down and long. Lewis, it does feel like a big drive for the Army defense, and perhaps a play needed to be made for Coach Nate Woody's group.
Yeah, it does. You know, they got out of character on the last drive as far as going 0 blitz and then really leaving their defensive backs on an island. That's not something they do very often. They like to play a lot of shell coverage, a lot of zone coverage. They're getting back to it here.
Rice is going to be corralled near the 10. It'll be 3rd and long. Andon Thomas, the captain. And here comes a penalty flag in late.
Creating negative plays, getting this offense behind the sticks is really one of their best chances of having some success against this K-State offense. Take a look at Avery Johnson.
Here's David Alvarez.
The down counts after the play, unsportsmanlike conduct. Number 1, Kansas State. Number 5, Army. Number 1 may remain in the game due to the foul to the helmet.
Justin Weaver and Jace Brown, Chris Klieman.
That is their first unsportsmanlike of the game.
You're going to see Jace Brown and Justin Weaver tied
The
up.
down
And
count,
just,
3rd down.
you see Justin Weaver with his hands up into the face of Jace Brown. Helmet comes off.
Well, it's been a different Jace Brown this season in preseason camp, according to Chris Klieman. His relationship with Avery Johnson super strong, and well, the numbers certainly reflect his enhancements off the field and the dedication to his craft as leading receiver for K-State. Wraps needed here on 3rd and long. Johnson escapes, buys some time, floats it. Enough for the first down to Garrett Oakley, and upended crossing the 30.
This is a nice job of Avery Johnson being patient.
21 yards.
As the receivers run off the line of scrimmage, you're going to see he's just going to like survey the field. He can tell that they're playing it top down, meaning they're just trying to keep the receivers from getting behind them in the deep part of the field. And then late, Garrett Oakley just leaks out into the flat. Avery just softly tosses it to him and lets him catch and run. All the defenders have been run off. It's just good quarterback play on the part of Avery Johnson. It's good, patient quarterback play.
3rd and 10, a gain of 21. First down. Jackson with all kinds of green ahead of him. Still on his feet into Army territory. And they will rule him out. He did pick up the first, but a gain of just 15.
You're going to see this alley open up perfectly. From Joe Jackson, just can't quite there. You see the left foot and then the right foot step out of bounds. It was blocked perfectly, and they were off to the races. As you take a look at Matt Wells, he wanted to get this running game going. Thought we'd see Avery Johnson running a little bit more, but right now the running back's giving them the mileage that they want.
He'll take that. That means that Johnson perhaps doesn't have to run it as much. He will here. And a first down scamper, twisting towards the 45. Casey Larkin, a tackle gain of 7.
Just as you say, the running backs are carrying the load. Here comes Avery Johnson. He pulls it and gets the ball upfield quickly. Takes a big hit from safety Colin Madison. But he is as dangerous as they come, running the football from the quarterback position. You saw it last week in the 2-minute drive that they needed to have to win the football game against North Dakota.
Johnson, through his progressions, and crossing the 35. Here's Moise. Well, a smart start for Avery Johnson. You know, he told us yesterday he's his own biggest critic, and his evolution continues in the downfield passing game with Matt Wells this season.
And that was his third read in this route concept. He came front side, went backside. That was the third read to get to the freshman Adonis Moise. That is the evolution of Avery Johnson. That's what Matt Wells is very pleased with as far as the progression that this young man is making week after week, and you're seeing it continue.
Cool, calm, and collected. K-State quarterback, now a junior. Deep give to the edge. Perimeter run by Devon Rice. Now inside the 30, a 7-yard pickup. K-State on the ground, just chopping up the yardage.
Nice balanced attack, using the inside run game, outside run game, gap schemes, some zone blocking schemes, some zone read, pushing the ball down the field. They've got it all working right now. As you talked about earlier, that relationship between Matt Wells and Avery Johnson, you're seeing it in full effect.
2nd down and 3. Johnson's added probably about 8 to 10 pounds of good weight going back to last year. Play action. Crossing pattern. Brown able to corral it. Finally lost control for a moment. And Chase Brown now in the red zone.
You see Chase Brown just running what they call a little smash concept. Just coming off the field, off the ball slowly, and then break it hard inside. Double catches it. But then you see, after he finally secures it, ball goes right between his hands. You just see the explosiveness this young man possesses. He is a big play waiting to happen.
Yeah, the home run hitter for the K-State offense. The 12 receptions last week. That was a career high and went for over 100 yards in the comeback win against North Dakota. Rice joins Johnson in the backfield once again, and now a timeout call. K-State on the move, leading by 10, under 5 minutes to go here in our first half. This week's college football rankings brought to you by Chick-fil-A. A good start today for Arch Manning, 4 touchdowns in 5 minutes in the win against San Jose State. But look at 8th-ranked Clemson at home, leading Troy just by 11 points. And they trailed at one point today, Lewis, 16-3.
Yeah, a little bit of a hangover off of that loss to LSU. Just a week ago. Clemson, a lot of expectations on that football team this year with the roster that Dabo has put together. Things are going to get interesting real fast when the SEC schedule really kicks into full gear and these guys start playing one another. This is going to be a fun season.
Incredible start after a sensational week 1 just 7 days ago. This drive now already spanning 5 minutes in duration. Rice, toss left tackle. Twisting down short of the 15, DeShantez Gray. It'll be 2nd down. Well, it feels like a big moment for this Army defense, trying to force K-State into a field goal attempt, perhaps. Otherwise, trailing 17 in the first half, not the recipe to pull off the upset.
Yeah, 3 scores, being in that kind of deficit is just not the way they want to play the game, not the way that they're built to play the game. But this is a critical set of downs. See if they can somehow, at the very least, hold him to 3.
This time it's Jackson, met with resistance at the 15. Driven backwards, a short gain. Caleb Fortner was there. Part of that inside linebacker duo with Andon Thomas.
Now here a key third down. Avery Johnson has just been on it as far as his passing the football. Had just 3 incompletions on the night, and 2 of them were dropped. So, I mean, he has just been lights out, and I would expect them to put the ball in his hands and let him make some decisions here.
Perfect on third down thus far. K-State needs 7. On the move again. Here comes the pressure. Johnson bought some time. Low delivery pass corralled right at the line to gain by Tibbs. Heavy pressure from Noah Nixon. The flag may have drifted in late.
Illegal formation. More than 4 players in the backfield on the offense. 5-yard penalty. Still third down.
So instead of 1st and 10, actually it would have been 1st and goal. They'll back them up and do it again.
Yep, just got to make sure one of the wide receivers in this triple formation is up on the ball. Nobody was on the line of scrimmage. Didn't have secondary on the line of scrimmage. That's just, again, one of those self-inflicted errors. Lack of concentration, the kind of things that they had enough yardage. It looked like to pick up the first. Now they're in 3rd and long, but it's got to be the Avery Johnson show again. And if you're Army, as we just talked about, you've got to figure out a way to hold them here and force them to kick a field goal.
The backfield, the middle of the field is wide open. Johnson wants to throw it towards the end zone, breaking open and incomplete. The last second PBU by Caleb Fortner. Well, he read that one beautifully for the Black Knights.
That is pretty good. We're talking about a Mike Backer just running one-on-one with the tight end up the seam. It's one of the hardest things for them to do. Back to the football. You can't turn back and look. You have to have your eyes pinned on the receiver's eyes and try and play the eyes and hands and then just swipe the pocket. Maybe a little bit better of a throw by Avery. And that would have been 6 as well.
Rodriguez from 38. And K-State tacks on another 3. 13-0 our score. And now a quick word from Verbo.
As your host, I have some rules. First, no showers longer than 5 minutes. This isn't a spa. That's the rule.
Meanwhile, at a Verbo, get the vacation you expect and never a hovering host.
Well, if you're just tuning in, K-State leading 13-0. Avery Johnson has been on fire and in the zone through the progressions and in command of this Cats offense. Ron Tibbs, the only touchdown of the night so far, but for Jeff Monken, that has to feel like a win to force the field goal there.
No doubt about it. Look, these Army linebackers, Caleb Fortner and Andon Thomas, they're showing you why they're captains, why they're 2 of the guys we decided to talk to. They have just been making plays, and that is a heck of a play that Fortner just made to save the touchdown. And now they need to get this offense rolling. They have got to somehow generate some offense to where they can get this ball in the end zone. Kansas State has been very good as far as their assignments are concerned, not turning anyone loose.
Fair catch by Benson. Make sure you kick off your Sunday with NFL Countdown, 10 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN. Micah Parsons and the Packers get set to battle the Lions. They'll give you expectations there. Monday Night Football kicks off Monday night. The Vikings and Bears, 8 Eastern on ESPN, ABC, ESPN Deportes, and the all-new ESPN app with Peyton and Eli back on ESPN2. And, boy, you look at Caleb Williams, new-look Chicago Bears offense, and J.J. McCarthy, Lewis.
I mean, this is what you've been waiting for, right? You want to see what J.J. McCarthy looks. Kevin O'Connell has kept him on ice pretty much this preseason. Caleb Williams under Ben Johnson, what are you going to get?
3 possessions in the first half for the Black Knights. Cale Helms, first career start, lassoed by Wesley Fair.
That is just so good on the part of Wesley Fair. Running the alley as the safety. He's responsible for the quarterback. You see Desmond Purnell just feathering the pitch man. Won't let him pitch it out to him. This perfect defense.
There's the pitch to Noah Short. weaving his way through traffic. It'll be 3rd and short. And a 2-minute timeout coming right now. We'll step aside. Army tries to begin a drive after this. Matt, we cannot wait. And Alex Golesh, what a win for the Bulls. Back to live action here in Manhattan. Cale Helms, quarterback follow. Needed 2. We'll pick up 2.5. Clock will stop. Army, important to point out here, Lewis, with all 3 timeouts.
Yeah, they're going to be critical. They got to get a couple chunk plays. Look, they threw the football. They had wide receivers open on the 4th down play to Carson Smith that they didn't convert. And there you see Cale Helms.
BJ Payne. Chris Kleiman said this past week had been pressing. Not exactly the recipe for success against a triple option team when you've been pressing as a strong safety. A good start so far for BJ. Tackle there. It's 2nd and 1. Helms again wants to run it. And again picks up the first.
Trying to look for Noah Short. Just running a little in cut and from the slot, but they had him double teamed.
Clock stops briefly to move the chains. Helms directing traffic. This Army offense led America in rushing last year. 100 yards per game. They faked the toss sweep and the pressure came in quick from Desmond Purnell. And a penalty flag comes in. Busy night for this veteran officiating crew.
I think they're going to get Purnell a little bit of all sides. He was trying to time up the blitz.
Illegal formation, offense, more than 4 players in the backfield. That penalty is declined. It'll be 2nd down.
An option there also for the 10-second runoff. 13-0. Penalty is declined. And they'll spot the football back at the 45. So after a loss of 3, they'll take the play. Helms to the air. High delivery. And Samari Howard able to leap to make the grab with BJ Payne chopping him down. Under a minute to go. 3rd and 7. The quick snap to Helms. Quick delivery again. High pass brought in cleanly by Brady Anderson. So the 2nd catch of his career. Big number 84 moves the chain.
And he had a fantastic catch just a week ago against Tarleton State on a little Y seam down the field. Had to really extend and take the ball out of the air. And I asked the coaches about Brady Anderson, and they said, hey, look, we didn't. He just gets that left foot in bounds. And they like what he has shown. And I thought he was someone that maybe they can get him going in the passing game. He is a true weapon, I believe, as far as catching the ball down the field in the seam.
First time in plus territory tonight for this Army offense. Helms keeps it across the 30. A big gain on 1st down, and another first for Army. Purnell the tackle. Here come the Black Knights. How big is this possession?
Some really good execution as far as them blocking it up on the perimeter. Cale Helms delivering the football.
Aiden Reed over right tackle. And they'll stop the clock here. We'll check in again with Chris Budden.
Chris Kleiman kept running down the sidelines, yelling to his defense, eyes, eyes, guys, remember your discipline.
eye discipline has not been kind to K-State so far this season. In fact, Chris Klieman told us and the local media this week it has been awful, and then he repeated that same word again to re-emphasize the point.
Yeah, what you see happening here is, look, as you start getting fatigued, you start wondering, your mind starts wondering a little bit, and maybe you get a little lackadaisical. You can't have that happen against this offense. It just puts too much stress on you. Every single down, it's critical to know exactly what you're going to do. And when they start introducing the passing game, and if that's going to be something that could be a potential factor for them, along with the triple option, it just makes it even harder.
11th play of the drive. Army with 2 timeouts remaining. First time today for Jeff Monken's team entering into K-State territory. And now Helms will take off again. That was a quick decision across the 25-yard line. And another stop at Stufflebean. Brought him down. And we talk about eye discipline.
Army has called their second timeout of the half. 30 seconds in late.
Yeah, the eye discipline that we're talking about here, I mean, it's something that's just going to absolutely be critical. They have to be on it down here in the red zone, in particular in the high red zone.
Well, don't forget, the U.S. Open Men's Championship match is tomorrow, 2 Eastern on ABC, the all-new ESPN app. Third straight Grand Slam final, Center versus Alcaraz. What a scene it will be. Coverage begins with the men's preview show at 1 Eastern.
Hey, just watching head coach Chris Klieman down here on the field, he is livid. Because this game could quickly become a one-score game with the way Army is moving this football. And you can tell, like you see him right now, he is livid at his defense.
On third down, Helms. Post pattern and across the 5-yard line. It is grabbed. It'll be first and goal.
Look who it is. Noah Short. It's the little 2-man route concept where he just stacks behind the tight end and just breaks off of him on the in-cut.
The gain of 18. Army with 1 timeout remaining. Helms. Negligible gain on that play. Wesley Fair brought him quickly down to the turf.
Army has called the third and final timeout of the half. 30 seconds in late.
12 seconds.
Please use the game clock to 13 seconds, please. 1-3.
Just 12 seconds remaining in this first half, and Cale Helms in his first start, they'll add 1 more second back. On this drive has certainly turned the corner somewhat.
Hey, we talked about it in the open, right? I mean, 8,000 yards in high school. Maybe he can throw the football a little bit more than any recent Army quarterback that they've had. Avery Johnson, he's been on it. He's kind of been lights out as far as when he has had time to throw, even when he hasn't had time to throw. But right now, it's all about Cale Helms and this Army offense. The fact that they're showing you something that they typically do not show, which is an ability for their quarterback to drop back, read the field, and for these wide receivers to get open and run traditional routes. And that throw right there to Noah Short, that's what that's something you expect from an offense that doesn't really major in the triple option.
Second and goal. Reed and Howard, the Army backfield. The other direction. Howard's going to be sandwiched out of bounds in the 2. B.J. Payne laid the lumber.
Now you want to talk about eye discipline. B.J. Payne kept his eyes on his man-to-man coverage responsibility, which was Samari Howard, and that's how he's able to come up and make this touchdown-saving tackle. If he is off by just a tick, that is a touchdown. That's what we're talking about as far as eye discipline. Now they got to do it again. Crucial third down for K-State, and if you're Army, you got to be feeling pretty good about your chances right here.
And on third and goal.
Timeout. Kansas State, their second of the half. 30 seconds in length.
And this play is going to tell us whether it's a 2-score or 1-score game going into halftime. It is enormous for that man, Chris Klieman, and for the confidence and emerging talents of Cale Helms.
I think it changes everything for Army as far as their outlook going in at the half. They come out here in the second half, and they get the football since they deferred to start the football game. And if you're Chris Klieman right now, you can understand why he's a little irritated, because this is not the kind of drive you want to end the half on because of what it does for Army's outlook beginning the second half if they're able to put this in.
And Lewis, the Black Knights already with 3 third-down conversions on this drive. 3rd and 2, 3rd and 7, 3rd and 5, and now 3rd and goal coming up. Howard with his ship. Helms with a rollout. Trying a little bit of time and wisely flings it out of bounds. That'll give his field goal unit a chance with just 3 seconds to go in the half.
It's just a nice job by Kansas State of matching all the patterns down the field. Cale Helms had nowhere to go with the football. Again, talking about eye discipline, they had everybody covered, played it perfectly, strung the quarterback out.
And the offense stays on the field.
Hey, they're going for broke, huh? But they know that a touchdown really does change everything here. You wonder, are they going to actually... I don't know. Head coach Jeff Monken may not have a lot of faith in his place kicker being what happened last week.
This is the game winner. An all-or-nothing play on 4th and goal. Helms retreats wide open in the end zone, and it's corralled for the touchdown. Mr. Brady Anderson.
We're going to use that word again. Eye discipline. It's a heck of an individual effort by Cale Helms. See Brady Anderson go to the ground, secures it all the way through, completes the catch. That is a big-time gamble on the part of Army and head coach Jeff Monken, and a big-time throw and catch by Helms and Anderson.
The decision to go for the touchdown pays off. A 16-play scoring drive. And the final play of the half is Army into the end zone for the first time in a brand new game at intermission. Black Knights will get the football to start the second half too, Lewis.
You just see there's confusion in the Kansas State secondary about what the man coverage responsibilities were. You cannot have those kind of miscommunication errors when you're talking about being down on the goal line. This game has changed dramatically.
13-7. It's time now for the halftime report. Matt Berry, Joey Galloway, E.J. Manuel. Gentlemen.
Well enough to where now it makes us maybe a little bit more than just one-dimensional as far as the triple option. And the way in which he has stood in there, he has taken some big hits. He has kind of settled down. It has kind of changed the dynamic of this football game. And getting this ball here in the second half, let's just see what they've got here.
Black Knights get the football first. Chris Budden caught up with both head coaches.
I did. I talked with Jeff Monken coming out. I said, walk me through the 4th down decision. He said, Chris, I made that decision 5 years ago when we started going through analytics. I knew the whole drive that we would go for it on that moment. He said, in this possession, I want us to get back to playing Army football, which we did not do in the second half last week. Chris Klieman so frustrated the way that half ended because he thought his defense played their tails off. He said the one thing is we've shown our cards a little much, so they might throw some different looks this second half.
And perhaps a change defensively. And perhaps showing a tower formation look on first down. Linebackers stepping right behind each other, and Cale Helms, his confidence has to be soaring. His first career start in the tackle by Purnell.
Well, as OC Cody Worley told us, he had full confidence in this young man. As you see Desmond Purnell in that tower alignment where he stacks behind Austin Romaine, makes the tackle. I think Coach Klieman really let Chris in on something. They're going to have to change it up because once this offense gets a beat on where you're lining up, and then they are pretty sure about who they want to option off of and how they can get it blocked up, you're dead in the water. You've got to change your looks. That's the cat and mouse game that's going on right now.
Nervous energy in Manhattan to start the second half. Both of these teams have played nothing but close games to start. All three matchups combined have been decided by exactly 3 points on each occasion. Now third down.
You saw in that second down play how they are attacking the line of scrimmage, trying to make sure that this ball doesn't go north and south. The ends come crashing down inside. Now, this is where the dynamic really changes with the way Cale Helms has thrown the football. Will they put the ball in the air here, or is this two-down territory for them?
Army with 4 third-down conversions on that final scoring drive. Here comes the action, and Helms is going to be swallowed up. Obi Izor met him with plenty of resistance. It'll be fourth down.
Perfect execution on the part of Obi Izor. Staying square to the line of scrimmage. Desmond Purnell was out here on the perimeter for the pitch. Excellent execution on the part of K-State.
3 and out forced by the K-State defense. Sterling Lockett back deep to receive this punt from James Wagenzeller. First 3 and out for either side tonight, off the side of the foot. A kind roll out of bounds near the 31. Time now for our drive recap, covered by Geico.
You see on the touchdown, this is really just a 3-on-3 situation. The 3 defensive backs got to try and figure out how to sort out this kind of bunch route combination, and you see the safety, number 7, BJ Payne, just turns loose the tight end, Brady Anderson, coming across the formation. All Cale Helms has to do is buy time and just deliver an accurate pass. It's just so critical to communicate clearly down inside the red zone. Kansas State just didn't get it done.
Wildcats get it back after forcing the 3 and out. Just underway in our second half. Play action, Avery Johnson, Jace Brown. And a first down just shy of midfield. Chris Button with more on the Cats offense to start the second.
Yeah, Chris Klieman told me offense needs to step up. He said we're getting beat the line of scrimmage. He said they did need to run the ball more because the more this clock stops, the more it'll likely be in the hands of Army football, which they don't want to do.
Yeah, you can feel that nervous tension as Jackson scampers ahead to midfield. And Thomas, Gavin Shields combined to make the stop, a gain of 3.
This is such a hard thing for an offensive coordinator to stay disciplined running the football when you've got a quarterback like Avery Johnson and you've got 3 wide receivers like Bradley Tibbs and Jace Brown who can just torch a secondary.
And Lewis, they do have great speed on the perimeter, perhaps underrated for Avery. He'll keep it this time. And a spin move. All down to the 47 by Andon Thomas, so it's third down for K-State.
Your Army right now you got to figure out a way in which to keep this 3-headed monster, these wide receivers, in check and see if you can force them to punt the football and get another crack at it. Avery Johnson has made great decisions on third down, 4 for 5 tonight for 45 yards. He's looked super comfortable in the pocket.
3rd and 5 as Johnson surveys before the snap. Now with time and a dangerous toss. It comes in low and the pass is incomplete, trying to spot Brown. There was blanket coverage there. Eric Ford was right in the way. in that passing lane, and now the punt team on the field.
Very uncharacteristic of Avery Johnson so far tonight. Maybe that was just a half-field read. He's just reading the 2 wide receivers to his right. He had some options if he were to come back to the field. But give Army credit, they get off the field and get that offense back on track.
Now time for tonight's Aflac trivia question. Since the start of last season, K-State has 5 come-from-behind wins when trailing in the 4th quarter, tied for the most in the FBS. Who are the Wildcats tied with? That is tough. That is a tough question.
Come from behind.
I want to say there were some crazy comebacks in the ACC last year. To think about it. Lewis Riddick, Roy Philpott, Chris Budd back in Manhattan. Army in position. After forcing the punt, Noah Short, a late pitch. Racing ahead towards the 14. He's brought down there. A gain of 3. Desmond Purnell able to get him down to the turf.
See, Desmond Purnell is showing that tremendous pursuit speed. Kansas State just running hard to the football, trying to stay secure with their assignments and their responsibilities. If I'm Army, though, with the way in which Cale Helms has thrown the football, I am trying to sprinkle in the pass, maybe a little bit more than I have done in the past. I understand what their philosophy is running the football. I may want to get him out on the perimeter and have him throw it a little bit more.
Late toss and a trick play, wide open. They've got a man. Anderson had to wait for it into K-State territory. Noah Short with a brilliant delivery. It got there. It took some time, and Army will take it.
And you're just going to see the double pass, or rather you just see the tight end, Brady Anderson. He really runs like he's going to run a little bit of a slant route. Just lulls the defense to sleep. Pursuit comes up to try and take care of Noah Short, and then he just launches the pass down the field. That's a great changeup in terms of play calling.
For a gain of 52. What a play call for the Black Knights.
I mean, it's just perfectly executed. You can see everyone's eyes are now they're coming downhill. Noah Short, such a run threat, but he just pulls up and then launches it off of the double move to Brady Anderson, a guy who, again, it's just nice to see this young man getting an opportunity to catch the football. I thought he really popped on tape a week ago when they played against Tarleton State and his natural catch ability. That's 2 big plays for the sophomore tight end.
A couple of impressive grabs by Anderson, including the touchdown. Helens dives ahead. And a quality gain on 2nd and medium. It'll be 3rd down and short. You know, we talked to Noah Short yesterday. He was recruited by the late Mike Leach at Washington State as a nickelback originally. Versatile player. You can see what he can do on offense. He started at West Point initially as a defensive back. Didn't take long for him to switch sides. Third and 2, Helens. Absorbs the contact, picks up the 1st down, and Purnell went for a bit of a ride late. The drive continues.
That's just a good, tough run by Cale Helms. Just getting low, taking on Purnell at the point of attack. Give offensive coordinator Cody Worley from Army a lot of credit. He is going deep into the play call sheet. Has some nice stuff in for this football game that right now really has Kansas State on their heels.
How about Cale Helms in his first start? Placing Bryson Daly from a year ago. Carson Smith weaves his way into the red zone for Army. And a 5-yard gain.
It's good, tough blocking at the point of attack. Carson Smith goes 6 foot, 240 pounds. And that right now, they're just really trying to run the ball at the heart of the Kansas State defense. And from here, everything kind of flows off of it. If you can get yourself 4 or 5 yards on 1st down right up the middle, it's just all the things start to open up as far as the play action pass game, the triple option game, everything.
Quarterback follow. On 2nd down, a gain of 1, maybe 2 more. It'll be 3rd down. And time keeps ticking away off the clock here in this third quarter. Another lengthy possession for the Black Knights.
What Army has shown you so far as their play calling and their willingness to be creative, they really got Kansas State in a tough spot.
A toss to short. It'll be fourth down from just outside the 15-yard line. Now, Jeff Monken told Chris Button at halftime, I decided to go for it on 4th and goal 5 years ago. You know what he's going to do here, Lewis.
Yeah, anything that's 4th and 4 or less, heck, even 4th and 5, they are going for it. And now, if this comes down to Kansas State, it's about assignment football again now. Because you know that now they have shown you that the passing game is a real threat. Double passes are a real threat. You must be assignment conscious.
4th and 3, Helms to Hayden Reed to the edge, and he'll move the chains. Well, that's one way to do it. Reed, you think about him in terms of power, short with the speed, but it was Reed that got to the edge.
This is just excellent blocking at the point of attack. They just get out on the edge, they're able to secure the edge, and then just use the speed.
Official's timeout for an injury to an offensive player.
Secure Stufflebean, and then everyone has good angles. You get a body on a body. And Hayden Reed just uses his speed at 220 pounds for a heck of a first down pickup.
Teddy Williams, right tackle, slow to get up as we step aside. Now into the 9 o'clock hour on the East Coast here in Manhattan. Here's how we got to 13-7. Avery Johnson, Jerron Tibbs, a Purdue transfer, the first touchdown of the game near the end of the second quarter, but too much time on the clock. On 4th and goal, Jeff Monken rolls the dice. Brady Anderson reaching the end zone. That made it a one-score game, and now the Black Knights, Lewis, on the move in the red zone.
The passing game has opened up everything in my estimation. In the way in which Army is attacking right now, it is really a nightmare scenario for Kansas State.
Already halfway through, and then some. Our third quarter on first down. Carson Smith, a patient run. Gain of a couple.
With 2nd and 7, they'll take that. Especially with the way this offense is moving right now, they'll take that. They'd like to get 4 or 5 ideally, but I think right now this offense is playing with a lot of confidence. I think down here you have to expect that they're going to get out on the perimeter again, test the eye discipline, test the assignment assuredness of this Kansas State defense, because down here they've had some issues with their communication.
Teddy Williams back on the field at right tackle after one play. Helms off the counter and stacked up. Right at the line of scrimmage, it'll be 3rd down and long. K-State ready. Newsome met him, number 23 in purple.
That is such an interesting play design. You think they're going to run the option out to your right, but they pull the backside guard and tackle. The quarterback just reverses out of it and runs a quarterback power. That's a lot going on for a defense to have to figure out where the ball is going. Kansas State does a nice job of defending it. Now they're going to do it again. Actually, they got to do it 2 more times. Because you can best believe Army is not trying to settle for field goals. They're going for it in all situations, it looks like.
And the Black Knights can pick up a first down without scoring a touchdown. Shotgun look for Helms. With time and now racing ahead, looking for a pass. Spun down at the 5. I thought if he just stayed north-south, he had a chance. Quay Moss with a tackle. What do you do here?
I think they're going for it. There's just Doesn't look like there's any question that they are. I mean, it's what? It's basically 4th and short. 4th and 3 yards ago. That's short for them. So you got to be very conscious if you're Kansas State. Some kind of play-action ball handler, Jeff Monken running down to kind of really see. Maybe talk to the referee. Is he going to call a timeout here?
I believe so. The play clock winding down. Black Knights will think it over. And there it is, the first timeout, the second half for Jeff Monken and the Black Knights. Story there, the Black Knights of Army in Manhattan. The story here, 4th and 3 from the 5-yard line coming up, trailing 13-7. Helms waiting for an open receiver, now takes off near the goal line, and he's in. Touchdown Army.
Just an unbelievable individual effort on the part of Cale Helms. Knows he's going to take a hit. Forearms down. He's
it still is a first down.
Correct. And he's going to be short of the touchdown.
Great look by our crew here.
Absolutely.
Onside in Manhattan, right over the top of Romaine, and Helms is going to have to trot back out on the field. But to me, that is indisputable video evidence. Overturned the touchdown, and it should be quick work for this veteran Big 12 officiating crew, David Alvarez.
That is a heck of a play call, giving him the option to throw the football or pull it down and run it. There you see the left forearm clearly on the ground. Ball spotted about the half-yard line. But you just see, he's just going to get out here on the perimeter, and he's going to have 2 receivers in the back of the end zone. He just cannot find anyone to throw the football to, and he just pulls it down. And then just follows big Carson Smith, number 34, who you see out in front. Just trying to pick up any leaking pass rush, and then he just turns into a lead blocker on Austin Romaine. It's just a smart decision on the part of Cale Helms. Don't throw the ball unnecessarily into coverage. Don't put it in harm's way to see if you can pick up the first down, maybe a touchdown.
After further review, the runner was down short of the goal line, but he did make the line to gain. It will be first down from the 1/2-yard line.
Was not 4th and goal. That is important to note there. The first down easily achieved by Cale Helms. K-State now packed up deep. It'll be 1st and goal for the Black Knights.
It's another example, Roy, of Cody Worley, the offensive coordinator, having complete trust in Cale Helms, making his first career start on the road against Kansas State. In a 4th down situation, he puts the ball in his hands and trusts him to make a big decision. Now here they got a fresh set of down.
Carson Smith in the backfield. Helms under center. Over the left side of the line, and he's across. In for the touchdown. And Army an extra point away from grabbing its first lead of this game.
You're just going to see it open up right in about the B gap in between the guard and tackle. Austin Romaine takes a hard inside charge, and Helms is able to sneak in right beside him, just kind of like avoid him. Good low blocking, that wedge blocking at the point of attack. Army's offensive line getting low. Just great execution.
That is a 14-play touchdown drive, taking nearly 8 minutes off the clock.
This crowd is absolutely silent.
Both head coaches surveying the playing surface. They were not in the best of moods yesterday. Jeff Monken told us he was as angry as a hornet. A couple of other choice words. That was the first sentence he said to us in our meetings here in Manhattan. What about now?
Yeah, if you know anything about him and the way he is, he's not happy right now. He knows that they got a long way to go, but I'll tell you what, his team has shown the kind of grit and the kind of fight he wanted to see them show. And the offensive line right there, that's the kind of toughness that he's looking for.
Let's answer the Aflac trivia question. Since the start of last season, K-State has 5 come-from-behind wins when trailing in the fourth quarter. Tied for the most in the FBS. Who are the Wildcats tied with? I'm going to go SMU.
That's a good guess. I don't even have one. I mean, that's such a broad question. I mean, trailing in the fourth quarter?
Illinois.
There you go.
Brett Bielema says hello.
How about that? How about their team looked pretty good today in their battle with Duke? I'll tell you what, Chris Kleiman, once again, his football team is in a situation where they may be setting themselves up to have another fourth quarter type of comeback. When Avery Johnson put this football team on his back last week, because they are in a fight right now with an Army football team that I think has really found a whole different dimension to their offense.
Their 2 scoring drives, Lewis, spanning a combined 30 plays. Almost a full quarter game time off the clock in the process. Norenberg, a big return to start the game of 44 yards. With another crease here, and there he goes. Bryce Norenberg, one man to beat. And he does it. Touchdown, K-State. There are no flags. Smiles for the K-State special teams this week. A different story. The first 2 games of the season, Norenberg a fumble just a week ago in the win over North Dakota. And now K-State will go for 2. And let's go for Dos, brought to you by Dos Equis. Right decision here. Lewis still with a lot of time to go and only a 5-point advantage. K-State offense on the field as Chase Brown goes in motion. Johnson across the middle. There it is, and the 2-point conversion is good. Jerron Tibbs. Touchdown in the second quarter. The 2-point play in the third. And the lead back to 7 for K-State.
What an excellent job by K-State. Just watch the double team they're about to get right here at the point of attack. And watch the runner come right off of it. We're going to take this out. There you get the double team. And then you see it just opens up perfectly. And then you've got to just beat the kicker. And you're off to the races. And then for the 2-point conversion, you're just having a little bit of a bunch route combination. And you're going to see Jerron Tibbs just come inside and just spot up right inside the goal line. Avery Johnson with the perfect throw, just waits for it to clear, waits for it to open up. That is just big time. K-State has made an absolute living on non-offensive scoring touchdowns. Special teams has been a big part of the history here. Turnovers, pick sixes, scooping scores. They've been one of the best teams in the FBS at creating scoring opportunities other than by offensive means. And here again, it turns the tide for them. Big-time special teams return.
99-yard kick return for a touchdown. We're back to Matt Berry in the studio. continues his outstanding play. Iowa State remains undefeated, and here K-State, another non-offensive touchdown, leading America in that department this century. The Black Knights get it back after the 8-minute touchdown drive. Gabe Powers stops Carson Smith. And here we go again, Lewis, with a triple option.
Yep, and here it comes. They're going to go back to their bread and butter, sprinkle in the pass. We're talking about those non-offensive touchdowns. How about 135 as a school since 1999? 135 touchdowns. 4 non-offensive touchdowns in 2024, which was the most that they've had since 2020. They make a living doing it.
Have that kick return tonight. K-State gets momentum right back. Helms, quarterback run, a stutter step, a jump cut. It'll be 3rd and 2. Quay Moss with a tackle after a gain of 6.
That's just good offensive line play right there on that quarterback inside zone. They just got double teams at the point of attack, getting off the defensive line, knocked off the ball. And now in another 3rd and manageable situation. 3rd and 2 for them is like 3rd and 7 for most other offenses. Or 3rd and 2 for them, rather, is like 3rd and like an inches for other offenses, rather.
Under 2 to go in the 3rd. Helms a handoff over the right side, and I don't think so. VJ Payne from his strong safety position indicating it's 4th down. And Smith was stopped short the line to gain.
You got VJ Payne.
Official timeout for an injury to a defensive player.
Justice Clemens also getting in on it.
Malcolm Alcorn Crowder, the injured Wildcat. 4th and 2 coming up, and perhaps another decision for Jeff Monken next Saturday. 2 big SEC games on ABC and the all-new ESPN app. 3:30 Eastern, Georgia takes on Tennessee. Then in primetime, LSU hosting Florida as the Gators look to bounce back after what transpired earlier today against the Bulls. Meanwhile, the Stanford Cardinal in Provo to tangle with BYU. That game follows us here in Manhattan. And Andrew Luck, the new general manager, the GM, #1 overall draft pick of the Colts. His career ended prematurely as the starting quarterback, and now in college football, Lewis.
Yeah, Andrew Luck, one of the greats, unfortunately decided to walk away from the game much earlier than maybe what the Colts wanted him to. And they've been on the hunt for a quarterback ever since. And now he's in charge of building that program out there along with Frank Reich for this year on an interim basis. And it'll be interesting to see what he's able to do long-term with that football program.
4th and 2. Army with its offense on the field, deep in its own territory.
Just like when K-State has the ball, they put the ball in Avery Johnson's hands and let him make decisions. Cale Helms has earned that right tonight. What a heck of a performance so far in his first start.
3 of 4 on 4th down. And now it's Helms. Quarterback follow. That's enough for the first and a lot more. Helms into K-State territory. Stopped by Quay Moss. And a massive gain on 4th and 2. Give him 16.
Just look at the blocking here at the point of attack. And then watch Helms just pick and then get outside. Just look at the movement that they get. And then Helms just finds a way to get his body sideways and squeeze through a crease. Just look at the massive bodies just getting push. That is what Jeff Monken wanted to see. Boy, he has got to like how this game is going for his team.
Smith, late handoff. You watch Helms, and if you squint just a little bit, he reminds you a lot of what we saw a year ago with Bryson Daly. And we asked Cale, what did Bryson tell you before this game and this start? He said, go be yourself, and that will be enough. And Jeff Monken told us the same thing. You see what he's done so far tonight.
If you're Kansas State, you're going to have to find a way to make this young man start to second-guess himself, because right now he is playing with tremendous confidence, both in terms of his run reads and when they decide to put the ball in his hands and let him throw it. They're going to have to slow him down, because they could grind this game down and have it be a last possession type of thing where they're sitting there on your goal line and time expiring and they're going in for a score.
100-yard kick return. That's an awesome thing, but then we had to go right back out, so we didn't get a chance to make those adjustments. We've got to keep guys fresh. We got to find a way. We know this is going to be a 4-down game, so they're going to go for it a lot on 4th. Somewhere along the line, we got to make a stop.
I appreciate it. Good luck.
Thanks.
Chris, thank you. On 2nd down to start our 4th quarter, Noah Short get what he can. Kansas State territory. It'll be 3rd down. Wesley Fair tripped him up at the last minute.
Knowing that this is 4-down territory, this is where this game becomes a grind, both mentally and physically. 17-play drives in a football game are just gutting. I mean, you are spent mentally and emotionally and physically. And as Coach said, hey, your kick return team takes one to the house and you're right back out there on the field. Now they've got 2 downs here. They know it's a 4-down game, as he said. They've got to just bear down and figure out a way to get a stop.
Helms hasn't thrown a pass in the 2nd half. That continues. Quarterback draw. 1st down, Army. And across the 40-yard line, Kale Helms growing up right before our eyes tonight. A great block from Carson Smith.
They have respected his ability to pass. Let's watch the linebackers bail when he takes the pass drop. They're bailing like they would on a normal drop-back offense, and that's simply because he has shown the ability. The credible threat for him to throw the football is there. He never had really any intention of throwing that football. He just wanted on the back off so then he could go ahead and find the crease and pick up the 1st down.
The drive continues on 3rd and 6, a 9-yard gain. Our set again for the Black Knights. Off the toss sweep, Carson Smith again. Well, last week it was Hayden Reed. This week it's been more of Carson Smith, stuffed by Stumblebean that time.
Kansas State, you see Stumblebean there on your screen, just running that play down inside out. Just trying to muster up the strength to get off this field and get a stop, knowing that it's a 4-down game. Now, the way that plays on your mind is something that's exhausting as well, knowing that on 3rd down, typically you get off the field, not with this team.
And as a defensive player, it starts to wear on you. To the edge, Noah Short, another 1st down for the Black Knights. Stays in bounds to the 16. Well, Smith again, an outstanding block to spring number 15 for Army.
Just all the different ways that they can get on the perimeter here with a little jet sweep type of action, and you just see Samari Howard out on the perimeter blocking. Brian Dyer blocking out on the perimeter, number 80. And then there goes Noah Short. It's all the different looks, all the different motions, the formations. Army just mixing it up.
Short now with 61 yards on the ground. Helms over 100 yards on the evening. On 1st down. For 29 for the Black Knights. Going to gain a couple. Going deeper into that depth chart. In the backfield, Stumblebean again, a tackle. And Short back on the field, and now Army Lewis with nearly 200 yards rushing this evening.
This is what they do. They had 280 yards on the ground last week, 400 yards of total offense. They just keep grinding and grinding with that time of possession, racking up the yardage.
Helms throws it, Short catches it. Modest gain just across the 15, and let's see where they've spotted. They have lost a yard or two. Sami able to shove him out. So 3rd and a little bit longer this time. That's going to be a loss of 3. Oak Landerman.
There's a big down for Kansas State. You got to keep them in 4th and long. You got to force them to kick a field goal here and not give them the confidence to go for it on 4th down and try and tie this game.
Smith and Howard in the backfield. Helms is flush. Here comes a penalty flag. Tries to buy a little bit of time in an awkward toss out of bounds. And we'll unpack the penalty on 3rd and long.
I think you're going to see running back Carson Smith right here.
Holding. Offense, number 71, That penalty is declined. 4th down.
Well, they got the guard, Generelli, but you see Carson Smith, he's holding as well. So you had 2 guys, as they started to lose their pass rush, have to try and hold on and buy some time for Cale Helms.
And a field goal attempt coming. Dawson Jones. Rear long is 40, 2 for 4 last week. A lot happened at the end of that game in the upset loss to Tarleton State. And a 35-yard attempt inside that left hash, and Dawson Jones powers that one through. The lead down to 4, 10:46 remaining here in Manhattan. Matt Berry, thank you very much. The September corn moon out in full effect in Manhattan, Kansas. A 4-point game. Black Knights trailing K-State in crunch time has arrived in our 4th quarter. Louis Riddick, Roy Philpott, Chris Budden. And Army has been a different team since the 1st quarter. Squib kick, that's right off the up back, and the Black Knights are on top of it. Cole Seawright able to recover what turns out to be a makeshift onside kick, Lewis.
I mean, this is obviously something that was called. He aimed it.
Blowing on field that the ball touched the receiving team member and recovered by the kicking team. 1st down, Army.
You see, that was a designed attempt at kicking the ball right into the front line dropper. And you're just going to see it. It goes right here. A line drive shot. And as you're retreating from that front line, I mean, that's almost impossible to get out of the way of that. You see, the front line dropper did a nice job of keeping his eyes on the ball being kicked. You're always taught, make sure the ball is kicked. I just don't know how you really coach a guy to avoid a ball coming at you like on a laser track. I mean, that is a heck of a call on the part of Army. A heck of an opportunity now.
Anderson Britton kicked it off. Bergeron. Army gets it back. Trailing by just 4, approaching 10 minutes to play. Carson Smith will be tackled by Gabe Powers. And now a big play for each side on special teams as the Army offense starts to heat up.
Just absolutely just chewing this clock up. Kansas State offense has been on the field for just 4 plays the entire 2nd half. They have not seen the ball except for 4 plays.
2nd and 9. Collision in the backfield. Helms is able to maintain his balance. Something out of nothing, stopped in midfield by Powers.
You can see Carson Smith just ran right into Helms. His track was off course. And you can see Helms just ad-lib and just find a crease and get some positive yardage.
Jeff Monken told us yesterday, sometimes the wins feel more like a relief. The losses start to add up. It gets painful at times, but imagine if Army bounces back with a win just 7 days after losing to Tarleton State.
This Kansas State defense being put to the test. They have got to hold this to a negative or no yardage type of play and force Army to make a decision on 4th down.
He'll be following Helms tripped up. Carson Smith, that may have been right over his ankle. It'll be 4th down.
Again, Carson Smith just clicks feet with the quarterback Cale Helms as he's trying to get on his path. That's 2 critical errors involving Carson Smith on this series.
Four of 5 on 4th, and the crowd becomes a factor.
Maybe the biggest 4th down of the game.
Helms will buy some time to the edge. Has to go, and he gets there. Was walloped at the 45. Justice Clemens drifted backwards after contact, and that'll move the chain.
One-on-one against Kansas State's best defender, Austin Romaine, and Cale Helms makes a miss, gets out on the edge, able to pick up the first down. Austin Romaine comes through scot-free. It's just a one-on-one situation. Everyone was covered downfield. Helms had nowhere to go with the football and just makes something out of it on his own individual effort. And now here we go again. A new fresh set of downs. The clock keeps ticking, and Kansas State's defense remains on the field.
Riggs Bartosh on the field again. The option play and the push. Quality gain on first down to David Clark. First time we've called his name tonight. You can feel a little swagger, some mojo on the side of the Black Knights on this drive. Everything starting to work out quite nicely with a triple option attack. Black Knights offense, Lewis, getting lathered up.
You just see it. Just look at that time of possession, 20 minutes and counting.
Burke again. Checks out down the 36. Gabe Powers. Slow to get out. And Burke is as well to be third and short.
Kansas State changing up their defensive look. Went back to that tower alignment again with the stack formation. Austin Romaine and Desmond Purnell in the middle of the defense, just trying to give Army a different look so they can't just dial in as far as what their blocking assignments are. And what a grind. What a grind for Kansas State's defense. What a heck of a performance for Army's offense right now. The grit that they're showing.
Helms found a gap. And the block by Carson Smith, who has sprung his quarterback free on several occasions the last two drives, a 5-yard gain.
This is one-on-one against Gabe Powers in the hole. This is like old training camp one-on-one blocking drills. They get a nice double at the point of attack. I mean, this is just incredible. This is just old school, old-fashioned, power-running football. Man, this takes you back years. This just takes me back to junior high school, where really they're playing this game in a phone booth. The large majority of it, and they just introduced the passing game to it just enough to make it even more difficult.
Black Knights led the country in rushing last season, 300 yards per game. Now over 225 tonight. It's Carson Smith. And now under 6 minutes remaining. K-State has run 4 offensive plays in this second half tonight. 4. And a timeout call.
Timeout. K-State, the first of the half.
As we step aside in Manhattan. Welcome back to ESPN College Football Primetime, presented by Experian. And the Black Knights of Army trailing K-State 21-17. Army's on the move, and you look at the time of possession, Lewis, a big deal, especially in the second half.
It's 2 times. It's twice as much time of possession as Kansas State, and that is just absolutely draining.
Nothing but nail biters for these two teams to start 2025. Their 3 combined games decided by exactly 3 points. All 3 matchups thus far. This one coming down to the wire. Cale Helms stopped by Austin Romaine, Chris.
And that time on the field is starting to show. Romaine came over during that timeout, had to take a knee because he was so gassed. Kleiman trying to make more substitutions, but guys like Romaine, too important, had to be out there the whole time.
3rd down and 1, approaching 5 to play. Pressure mounting on Joe Clanderman and his K-State defense. Hellam faked the double pass for a minute near the line of scrimmage. Purnell stood him up. And let's see.
That is a heck of a job by Romaine and Purnell together. You see Austin Romaine attack the line of scrimmage and take out the blocker, and Purnell just cleans it up. Again, this is kind of a form of that tower formation that they talked about when Desmond Purnell's just a hitter.
Lewis needed less than a yard, right at a yard. It is very close. Well, we're very excited about this. The all-new ESPN app is the best way to watch sports. All of ESPN, all in one place. With live games, live stats, plus you can track your fantasy teams and personalize with your favorite leagues, teams, and players.
You see Coach Chris Klieman just trying to change up the looks over and over.
And the Black Knights need about 2.5 inches here. Army 5 for 6 on 4th down so far.
It'll be interesting to see what kind of formation they go to here, because you know they're in this short yardage situation. How do they deploy their alignment now?
Lewis, it feels like we've lived in 4th down this entire game.
Yeah. I mean, it's just such a mental grind. Kansas State's got to find a way, because this offensive line is getting moving at the point of attack, and the quarterback is a problem.
22 players in the box. Helms will be shoved ahead, and he's got enough for the first down. Army knocking on the front door of the red zone. 4.5 minutes to go, and a conversion on 4th and short.
Yeah, just look at the offensive line. Look at how they get low and just kind of wedge and dig the Kansas State defensive line out of there. And I know in the program, Cale Hellam goes 5'10", 205. He is thicker and bigger than that. You go down the field and take a look at him. His lower body is built like a fullback. And it has become a factor in this game.
Interesting. No Hayden Reed for the majority of this second half. Number 8 for the Black Knights. Hellman has been off on the sidelines. Bartosh back on the field. He gets another touch. A nifty cut at the line and ahead inside the 15. Quality pickup on 1st down again for the triple option. Logan Bartley a tackle.
Defense is just gassed. They just can't get off blocks that time. It was Cody Stufflebean at the point of attack. Had his guy stood up, but just didn't have the energy to get off the block and make a tackle. And that's how you pick up 5 yards, 6 yards, and now you're sitting here at 2nd and 4. The time of possession just keeps adding up.
2nd and 4. K-State just 2 timeouts remaining. With 3 minutes to go. Hellam's tripped up at the line. He falls forward. And perhaps picked up a yard. Desmond Purnell has been more active on this drive. It'll be 3rd down.
K-State called their 2nd timeout of the half.
1 timeout remaining for K-State. 2:56 to go as we step aside. Matt Berry, we cannot wait back in Manhattan. 3rd down. Helms has a pass into the end zone. The Black Knights Ducks back in front, 2:52 to go. Took nearly 8 minutes to go 56 yards, and maybe for Jeff Monk and his team scored too quickly.
Exactly, but you know what? Look, if you think about this, if you're Kansas State right now, we were just talking about it in the break, at some point I was sitting there going, maybe you have to consider letting them score. You've got to get Avery Johnson back on the field. Otherwise, this team may just grind it right down and just try and win this game with no time left on the clock.
Dawson Jones bangs home the extra point, and the lead at 3 for Army.
Just look at the blocking at the point of attack right here. You're going to see body on a body and people getting moved. There you see the block in particular by Carson Smith. And quarterback Cale Helms just doing his Bryson Daly impersonation and just taking this game over in his first career start. Here you look at it again. Pads down, rolling your hips on contact, running your feet. And the quarterback just using his natural instinct to find his way into the end zone.
Time of possession.
Just look at this.
In favor of Army.
And look at that. Kansas State only has 4 plays run. And the surprise onside kick is what ignites it all in this particular scoring drive. And right now, if you are Avery Johnson, you have to once again be the hero for your football team and lead your team to maybe victory.
That's assuming he gets the football.
Assuming they can get the football on this kickoff return.
We've seen a touchdown from 99 yards out, then an onside kick off the upback. It's been a wild scene in this fourth quarter. And I don't know that I've ever seen this in a college football game, right off of Bergeron, and it deflects back to the Black Knights, and that's a fastball at 100 miles an hour coming right at you.
It's just executed perfectly, absolutely perfectly, just as the touchdown run was executed perfectly from a blocking perspective and the quarterback run perspective. But this game, I mean, this is high drama. Once again, Kansas State finds himself at a deficit here late in the fourth quarter. But this is where legends are made when you're talking about quarterback play. For Avery Johnson, all the maturity, all the relationship building that he's gone through with Matt Wells, it has to show up right now.
K-State not at 100% on offense to start this drive. Avery Johnson, play 5 of the second half. And the comeback is there to Jerron Tibbs. Chris, what's the latest?
As you said, they're down a wide receiver. Jerron Bradley has not played since that touchdown catch that was called back in the first quarter. He is out here in street clothes and a wrap around his left hand.
Tibbs picks up 9, second and short. Johnson with time. Tibbs again, the Purdue transfer to the 39. And that's enough for a first down. The tackle by Endon Thomas. And here comes K-State.
Army playing that bend but don't break, too high scheme, soft zone scheme, trying to keep everything in front. Avery just taking what they're giving him.
On first down, this time he goes deep. Thomas around, the ball pops out. Was it a completed pass? Army jumps on top of it. And the ruling initially, it is incomplete. Justin Weaver jumped on the pigskin just in case.
That's going to be an interesting one. Colin Madison times it up perfectly. You can see
down the field is an incomplete pass.
He completes the catch, 1 foot down, 2 feet down. Has an opportunity to maybe make a football move. That looks like a catch and a fumble to me. That looks like a catch and a fumble. And a great play.
The previous play
of Colin Madison.
Pass is under further review.
Colin Madison, an Oklahoma native. His dad was actually born in Fort Riley. Today is the Fort Riley game at K-State. His grandmother was a huge K-State fan, and this is just dislodging the football.
I mean, that is textbook. In that kind of situation, your instinct is to absolutely try and blow the wide receiver up. You don't want to risk getting called for any kind of targeting or a personal foul. And he just goes low and puts his shoulder right smack on the football. That is a perfect safety play. Perfect.
We bring in our rules analyst, Jerry McGinn. Jerry, what did you see?
Lewis, you and I are on the same page. I see a reception and a fumble recovered by the defense. 1st and 10 for Army. I think they're going to...
That is the play of the game for Army right there. That is as big time a play as you can possibly make. You dislodge the ball. Do not get called for any kind of personal foul or illegal hit to the head or any kind of targeting. It's a hell of a throw. An absolute laser from Avery Johnson to Jerron Tibbs, but an even better defensive play.
You see the receiver grab the ball. He has possession of the ball. He turns, and it's a great hit by the defense, as you described. He doesn't go high. He goes right for the ball. It's a textbook play on defense. I believe they're going to go with the Army's ball.
What a play this would be.
That throw, that's big time. I mean, give Avery Johnson credit. That is big time. He was trying to do what we had talked about, being the hero. But, I mean, what can you say? Colin Madison, Casey Larkin, number 20, the 2 safeties for Army, they played their hearts out in this football game. And Madison may have just made the play of the season for them so far.
Madison made his first career start just 1 week ago. And a moment like this, after a loss like what we all witnessed a week ago at West Point.
After further review, the ruling of an incomplete pass is upheld. 2nd down.
And a big-time break for K-State.
Wow. Yeah, hey. That's an interesting one. I thought that may have been the play of the game. Kansas State gets new life, continues on their march. And you can see Jeff Monken just letting the officials have it.
Clock operator, please set the game clock to 2 minutes and 9 seconds, please.
Still plenty of time. 24-21 game, 2nd down and 10.
Avery Johnson, here you go. You got another chance.
Empty backfield for the junior quarterback. With time, finds it. Oh, and the ball's popped out late. It was Madison again.
I think that's the toughest thing to defend in cover 2, which is what they're running. This sail route, you just got to drive hard on it downhill. Avery Johnson again puts it on a rope. Perfect throw, perfect hit. For Colin Madison, that is 2 just textbook plays. Jace Brown, I mean, it was put right on him. There's nothing you can do. When a DB puts his head on the ball like that and gets his shoulders into your ribcage, there's nothing you can do.
This Army defense fresh, really not having seen the field for the entire portion of this 2nd half. 3rd and long, Johnson goes short. Pass is hauled in. And it's going to be 4th down for K-State. Myrie Davis shoved out by Justin Weaver.
This is the 2-minute timeout.
Clean grab, 2-minute timeout. 4th and 5 for K-State after this.
Now for the final 2 minutes, delivered by Factor.
Crunch time at K-State. 4th and 5. The Wildcats trailing Army by 3. Avery Johnson, the junior quarterback. Mathematics get really interesting without a conversion here. K-State has to have it. Time for Johnson. Delivers a strike, and the pass caught near midfield. That's enough to move the sticks. Jerron Tibbs on the comeback.
And it's just a pinpoint throw against tight coverage.
Gain of 7 on 4th and 5. Now in plus territory. Field goal ties it, forces overtime. A touchdown could win it. Pressure by Andon Thomas. It's 2nd and 10.
Now you see defensive coordinator Nate Woody trying to bring some pressure, knowing that he just can't let Avery Johnson sit back there, trying to play some zone behind it and not get caught in a zero blitz situation like he did in the first half. Just a bunch of cat and mouse. How can you get pressure on this quarterback while not exposing my corners?
Comeback cats are used to this. We saw it last year in week 2, game 2 for K-State last week. Not for Johnson, perhaps too much time. Sails it incomplete. Heavy pressure, Madison involved again. And he has been everywhere on this drive for the Army defense.
And just playing so physical at the catch point. Just going over the top of the back of the receiver, dislodging the football.
Just 1 timeout remaining for K-State. They've got to have points on this drive. Team that was one of the projected favorites in the Big 12 already with 1 loss this season. Into the hands of Iowa State, a close win, a comeback victory last week over North Dakota. Intercepted! And the Black Knights, Colin Madison! And a smart decision to get down to the turf. Madison featured on that drive for Army.
What more can you say about Colin Madison? Maybe the football series of plays of his life. Big play after big play after big play. Just watch him right here, starting from a high alignment, walking down in the coverage, keeping his eye on the quarterback, breaking on the football, and then having the ability with one hand to snag that ball out of the air. Pressure coming up the middle on Avery. Defensive line getting their hands up, forces an errant throw. He's not able to get the ball to the place that he wants to. Trying to get it over the defensive line, and Colin Madison. That is how you play safety right there. That's how you play it. You hunt in the back end. You make clean hits. You can test footballs on the catch point, at the catch point, and you come up with interceptions.
Mathematically, Army in position to secure the upset. And Madison, we mentioned it moments ago. His grandmother, a huge K-State fan. He grew up in Oklahoma. His dad was born just 30 minutes away in Fort Riley. And to come here and do that. Amazing.
Roy, that is, like, no kidding, that is high-level safety play right there that he just showed you. As far how you play safety in the deep part of the field. How you play with depth, good footwork, good anticipation, angles you take the break on the ball, how you finish on the ball without committing personal fouls or pass interference, and then how you finish a very difficult interception where you're running full speed coming downhill. Then you have to pick up the ball in flight and make the one-handed interception. You see how pressure affects Avery Johnson as far as his ability to throw an accurate pass. Colin Madison will get all the credit. The pass rush is what made that play happen because of the errant throw that it forced Avery Johnson into.
First interception of the season for Avery Johnson. K-State out of timeouts. And Hellam simply retreats. Chew up as much clock as possible. And Cale Helms tonight with 40 carries of the football. That is a new Army quarterback rushing attempt record in his first career start.
I mean, just think about the quarterback that he's followed. One of the greatest rushing quarterbacks in terms of touchdowns scored in the history of the FBS, in Bryson Daly. And this young man, in his first start, comes out and takes control of this football game the way he took control of it today.
Stanford BYU coming up as soon as we are done here in Manhattan. And a timeout called with 45 seconds left. So in theory here, Kel Helms will try to make sure that at least 5 seconds get off the clock.
Army, their second of the half. 30 seconds in length. Clock operator, please put 46 seconds on the clock, please. 4-6.
And make that 6 seconds need to be chewed up with this next play.
Thank you.
What a win.
It's an unbelievable effort, Roy. It really is. I mean, what can you say? This is
Chase Roberts, BYU. He is back in Provo. Cougars and the Stanford Cardinal. You want to tune into that game because Bear Bachmeier, the new starting quarterback for BYU, wears number 47. It's just fun to watch somebody wearing that number throw the football down the field, and perhaps he'll throw it to his brother Tiger Bachmeier.
47. That'll be the new fad.
What a comeback for Army. Still a little bit of work to do, and Helms giving instructions on the sideline. What will he have in store for an encore after a game like this? Helms straight up the field. And let's see when they start the play clock, and that should do it. Trailing 13-0, going for it on 4th and goal at the very end of the first half. The Black Knights come all the way back with a brand new quarterback leading the charge for head coach Jeff Monken.
And just look at Nate. He said that wins feel like relief. Does he look relieved? Does he look as ticked off as he was yesterday? I mean, it's an incredible story. And for Chris Klieman, we have to be gutted. Gutted, because everything that he feared in this football game as far as time of possession, losing that battle, defense getting worn out, not being able to run the football and take time off the clock, it all came true. All of it in a bad way.
The Black Knights get it done 1 week after falling to Tarleton State and West Point, all the way back to upset K-State 24-21 here in Manhattan. What a game, what a finish, what an upset, and Colin Madison gets the job done with the game-ending, game-sealing interception. 24-21, our final score for Louis Riddick, Chris Button. I'm Roy Philpott. We say thanks for watching. Stanford and BYU coming up right now. Say hello and good evening to Mark Jones, Ronnie Jones, and Quinn Kesnich.